Hi everybody, this is Paul Cooper with Totes and Notes, bringing to you the second part of our real estate F-bomb series. It's going to be Find, and it's going to be on how to find your deals. So this is the second part. We're going to go a little bit more in depth, and I'll be linking to a few other things throughout the video. And let's get started. So when you want to start anything, you need to know where the starting line's at, and you want to start with the end in mind. You don't want to just be busy doing stuff. You want to have a goal. You want to build a system that's going to help you long term, and that'll be more efficient, more rewarding. So you need to focus on the source of the assets you're looking for and the type of assets. So the best way that you're probably going to get notes, at least the best prices, is ultimately going to be from banks. There are good hedge funds. And then the low-hanging fruit would be exchanges. That's probably going to be the worst place to get it. They'll have less good inventory for you, so fewer items that make sense. But you can look on there, and it's a pretty easy scan. But you're going to want to focus on the banks and hedge funds long term. That's going to be where you're going to get your bread and butter deals. And then if you look to sell your deals on a larger scale as you ramp up, you're probably going to want to sell them to banks and hedge funds, or you may end up selling them on exchanges. So you may not want to focus on exchanges for buying your assets, but you may want to become familiar with them for when later on when you're selling them. So the main sources we're going to cover in this video are LinkedIn, Lane Guide, and Facebook. I'm not going to go in depth into LinkedIn. When I originally started making this presentation, I hadn't made the LinkedIn Ninja series. That's a 5-part series. It goes really in depth, so I'm just going to link to it in the video. There's no point for me to go back and just skim over that stuff. If you want to use LinkedIn to find assets, find investors, I've got a great 5-part series. Each series is broken down into different, or each part's broken down into a different subject. So you can go watch that. It shows you everything. So we're going to go over Lane Guide here shortly. It's a really good resource. It is subscription based, but I think it's like $150 a year, so it's worth it to go on there, and we'll do that. Facebook is can be a good source. The problem with Facebook, and I'll cover this a little later, is it's not a great source for finding and connecting with professionals. It's more of a way to maintain relationships you already have. So LinkedIn, again, here are the high points for what you want to search for: special asset managers, secondary marketing, chief credit officer, and then look for higher level executives either in banks or at other businesses, because they may know people that have assets or they may want to invest with you. And again, you'll want to send a personalized message, and in my series I go over all of that. So now we're on Lane Guide, and this is what we're going to spend some time on in this video. So we're going to go to that right now. But it's pretty easy to use. It's customizable, so you can search specifically for the type of property you're looking for: residential, commercial, whatever. The state, you can even go down to counties, and then you can look for the specific department that you're looking for, whether it's just the main branch, REOs, special assets, different company types. And when I show you this, make sure that you look at the comments to see what the department handles. A lot of banks don't have special asset departments, and so it may be all combined up with the REO department. And then if they don't have that, or it doesn't say, then you can either call the REO department and ask for it, or you just need to call the main line. But let's go see what I'm talking about. So we're on Lane Guide. It's just laneguide.com, no big deal. Log in. Alright, so this is where we want to go here. You got your search toolbox for all kinds of stuff. We're going to go to REO Asset Manager. Now, we're not usually looking for REOs, but that's where we need to go, since it covers both. So we're going to do residential right now. And sure, we'll go to Alabama. Alabama's a good state. Statewide, all counties, but look, we can select residential, commercial, we can select the state. If you've got a specific county you want to only look at, great, you can do that. REO Asset Manager, we want to go to Special Assets Department. You could search for REO and asset manager, and you may find special assets, and they may cover what you're looking for. But why don't we just go ahead and start here, and that should be more than enough people for you to reach out to try to find assets. Then there's all company types: banks, mortgage lenders, credit unions. I just go ahead and do all types. Loan servicers can be hit or miss when they come up as far as buying assets, because they're generally not going to be selling them. Some of them will have exchanges, like Madison Management, they do have an exchange, but again, you would go to their website for it. But they may know people that are selling or buying notes, whether it's institutions or individuals or smaller companies. So it's not terrible, but we're going to do all types for now, and we'll mainly focus on the banks. So here we go. We got Academy Bank of Colorado Springs, and you'll see them a lot. They invest in almost every state, it seems like. And you got a bunch of different info through here, phone numbers, addresses, things like that. So what we want to do is you want to get the lane guide info. So I just right-click that, open up a new tab. And so this is what we're looking for. We've got the REO department. You can click on that for more contact details. But it has their phone number, the functions here. This is the comments area I was talking about. So they do the REO department. Sometimes I'll say like REO and commercial loans, or REO and special assets, or whatever. But make sure to look at that. Most of the time it'll just say, REO department does REO. But it's a quick scan. Has their address here. Sometimes you'll have a fax number, and sometimes you'll have email, which is great if it's a specific person. If it's just a general like info at 123bank.com, that's probably not going to help you. You just need to call. Here's the main office number, and then here's another area, and look, it says they do loan servicing there. So for these guys, for Academy Bank, what you would want to do is you could take down the REO department information. You can give them a ring, but probably you just want to contact the main office. So what I do is I just go ahead and copy that. We've got our Excel sheet, and you can set this up however you like. And that's what I'll do. And then it's got the Academy Bank. You can put the name up here to keep it a little bit more organized. But that's what you want. And you can even, end up deleting this stuff. You know what the main office is. Customize it however you want so it's easy for you to scan and get the information you need. So that was one bank. Let's see if we can find someone that actually has a special asset department. Like American Tax Funding Servicing LLC, there's servicer. If you want to call them, you can. Some of them are great about it, and others it's a waste of time. So I would focus on the banks first, and then you see Bank of America here. They're not going to deal with you more than likely. Unless you're buying 50 to 100 plus asset pools at a time, they're not going to respond. Same with Bank of New York Mellon. The big show guys, they're not going to do it. Bank of the West, they're good. You can reach out to them. Let's see what they've got here. That's the wrong thing. So here you go. Bingo. This is what we want. We want the special asset department. So it has phone number. It doesn't have like a name of a person and an email, which would be nice if they did. But this is the phone number you want to call. So that's one less person you got to call, one less phone tree you got to go through, one less gatekeeper you've got to explain what you're looking for. And when you call, you need to be careful on what you're saying, because a lot of the times they'll just try to get you to the REO department, and that's not what you want. They're almost always completely separate departments. Make sure you're asking for secondary marketing, special assets, things like that. And yep, so this is what you want. When you see banks that have that, that's the really good stuff. That's the gold vein that you want to call. But when I go through this, don't just get this information while you're here. Make sure to get the main branch number as well, just in case this number doesn't work. You don't want to have to be going back and searching again. So again, you just take that info, put it on your Excel sheet, edit it however you like, whatever makes sense for you, and that's basically Lane Guide. It's pretty straightforward. It's a little, it's a grind. There's no easy way to just download all this information. You've got to go through and just copy and paste and look at it a little bit, but it's not hard. Again, it's something you could get a VA to do, or if you hire someone else to help you with it. It's not hard. You don't need to pay a lot for it. And again, if you're, watching Netflix at night or on a break or whatever, you can harvest this stuff pretty easy, just like a lot of the LinkedIn stuff. So if you don't want to pay someone else to do it, or, you're really strapped for cash, you can do this yourself in free time pretty easy, and just grab a few things here and there. And hopefully, hopefully you don't need to hundreds and hundreds before you start seeing some results, but if you want to dedicate an entire day to doing that, you can. But make sure you hit it up. It's a good resource. Again, it's $150 a year. It's cheap. If you're afraid about spending $150 on Lane Guide to get sources, then I don't really know how you're probably going to be successful, just because it's a great return, and you can't be afraid to spend money on stuff that's going to make you money, especially when it's cheap like that. If someone's asking you to drop $10,000 on a marketing campaign when you're starting off, yeah, that's maybe a little premature, but $150 for a Lane Guide to get all these sources, it's a good deal. And look at all these banks. This is just for Alabama, one state. Yep, so that's just one state. You'll start seeing a lot of these as you go through the different states, but like those regional banks that you'll see, Bank of Alabama or specific counties there for that state, those are going to be probably pretty good, assuming they're not too small. But don't be bothering Chase or U.S. Bank or Bank of America and New York Mellon. They're not gonna mess with you, more than likely. I mean, if you see that they have like an email or something, and you want to include them on your newsletter or email network, that's fine, but I wouldn't spend a bunch of time trying to call them or anything like that, because it's just probably not going to work out. So, at a glance, that's what I use Lane Guide for. It's very straightforward, pretty easy. They've got these menus. It's just drag and drop, and you figure out what you want to do. It's not hard. So, let's get back to the rest of the presentation then. So Facebook, I discussed this earlier. It's not the best place to find professional contacts. It's usually people are using more for personal and entertainment reasons. Now, reaching out to business Facebooks can be good. There are professional groups which are great on Facebook. And there are good ways to find people through advertising. Now, again, advertising, you're probably not going to be able to target asset managers the way you would want to on there. To find assets. The advertising on Facebook you're going to do is going to be more to find people to either buy or partner with you or invest with you. I doubt the CEO of a regional bank is going to be at home on Facebook, and then he'll see your advertisement, like, oh yeah, I'll sell to these guys. They're going to handle that stuff at work. If they're part of a real estate group, maybe you can find them that way. But I wouldn't spend a bunch of money on an ad campaign trying to target bankers and other professional asset managers like that. I would spend it more on trying to find investors. And I'll probably eventually do another video on how to do just that. But that's outside of the scope of this video. But the other great thing about Facebook is once you've made contacts with these professionals, it's a good way to keep in contact with them besides just using LinkedIn or email. If you can connect with them on Facebook, then it's just another way for you to stay in contact, for them to see that you're active, for you to reach out to them. It's a little bit, it's definitely looser than LinkedIn. So, on LinkedIn, if you see if you know somebody's, into your favorite sports team or something like that, that's probably not the place to shoot the breeze. I mean, you can on messaging, that's fine. But Facebook would probably be a little bit more appropriate for that. That way you don't have a bunch of little side conversations going on LinkedIn. Try to keep that professional, keep that classy, and then the other stuff you keep over on Facebook. I'm not gonna make a big video on how to do messaging on Facebook. It's straightforward, and I'm sure all of you probably do it better than I do. I'm not that great with Facebook. It's very easy. If you can do LinkedIn and other things, then you know how to contact people on there and how to search for them. So again, I wouldn't, you're not going to go to Facebook and find, search for special asset manager. That's not going to happen. Most people don't list a lot of their professional stuff and their work life on Facebook. So this is kind of a backup one. This shouldn't necessarily be a main source that you're going to use to find asset managers. If you see my other videos, or you're going to see LinkedIn's a bit huge for me. Lane Guide's going to be big just because for making phone calls, and for the few people you do get emails, then you can add them to the list. But LinkedIn's big, making phone calls, cold calling people, that's big, and you're going to get those mainly through LinkedIn and Lane Guide. There are other sources out there to find asset managers. Note Pros is pretty good. I'll probably make a video on them. They have asset managers on there, and they also have a data scraper that'll help you do due diligence. And that's spelled Note, and then Pros is with a Z, a Zulu instead of an S, Sierra. And it's .com, and you can find that, and it's a small monthly fee. And I'll cover that more in depth in another video, but they have a list there, and again, it's by state, and you go through, and I think they try to call them every 6 months or so to make sure that they're good numbers and emails. So that's another great source for reaching out to asset managers. And so the whole goal of this is to have your Rolodex just filled with good asset managers and people to contact. Make sure to introduce yourself, have an elevator pitch, make a nice message if you're reaching out over the internet. If you're on the phone, build yourself a little script for when you call, just some highlight stuff. It's kind of like a PowerPoint presentation. You don't want to have every single word that you need to say like a robot on there, because it's not going to be natural. It's going to come off as stiff and robotic. And, and then when they ask you something that you don't have written down, then you're going to be thrown for a loop. So just, the high points, make sure to have your introduction down, maybe practice that a few times so it's nice and smooth. Who you're looking for, write down the keywords for the people you're looking for. Special assets, secondary marketing, things like that. You don't want to say, REO or bank owned or things like that, because then they're going to send you to the REO department, and then you're going to have to start the process all over. And so then what else you want to do is when you want to educate your network on what you do. Tell them what I'm not just here to make money. I'm not just, hey, do this for me so I can make money. You want to be offering value to people that are selling you stuff, that are going to buy from you, that are going to work with you, and people that may never do that. I'm trying to do these education videos. Hopefully people will want to work with me in the future, but if they don't, that's fine too. I'm more than happy for people to learn from me and other sources and have their own success. This isn't a competition. Try not to have a scarcity mindset. Everyone can succeed. There's plenty of money out there for everyone. There's plenty of assets. So if, make sure that you're helping other people, and generally you'll get some help in return. And invite your database to participate. That's what I'm trying to do here through my videos, through my emails and everything. I want people to participate, and that doesn't just mean, give me money or sell stuff. Hey, what do you guys want to see? What do you want to learn? Oh, hey, you learned a new technique, or maybe I'm wrong on something and you're educating me on that. That's great. That's what I want. This should be a learning, interactive environment. And again, reach out to your contacts on a regular basis, whether that's, weekly or monthly or however you want to do it. I do my email, try to do that at least twice a month. I'm putting out all these videos. I'm trying to get one out every day or in larger batches, so it averages out to about one a day. Trying to answer, emails, respond to people's messages, make phone calls. Reach out to people on a regular basis, especially the people that are reaching out to you. And that's it for now. That concludes the second episode of the Real Estate F-Bombs on how to find stuff. Very generic. I hope you all enjoyed it. Let me know if you need anything else. If you have any questions, I'm more than happy to help you. And thank you for your time.